Marcus Ellery kept records the way other people kept photographs, not for nostalgia, not for sentiment, because data, in his experience, was the only thing that didn't revise itself overnight. The first rejection came in March 11 years ago. Director Calloway had delivered it the way men like him always delivered difficult things. Leaning back, hands open, the posture of someone explaining gravity to a child. "You're not quite ready, Marcus. The visibility just isn't there yet." Marcus had nodded, gone back to his desk, opened the notebook, a plain black moleskine he'd bought for meeting notes, and written the date, the role, the reason given, and then in a second column his performance metrics for the preceding quarter. Response accuracy, 97.4%. Project delivery, 11 days ahead of schedule. Cost variance, under by 6.2%. He didn't write anything editorial, no commentary, no adjectives, just the numbers beside the reason. The second rejection came 7 months later, too specialized, the third the following spring. Doesn't have the executive presence we're looking for. By year 3, Calloway had developed a rotation, not the right moment, team dynamics, needs broader exposure. Marcus documented each one in the same format, same column structure. The handwriting in the early pages was slightly uneven, the pen pressed a little hard, the letters not quite settled. By year 5, the entries looked almost typeset, clean, unhurried. He wasn't performing restraint. He simply understood by then that what was happening had nothing to do with his performance. Calloway didn't promote Marcus because Calloway didn't see Marcus, not truly. He saw someone quiet who did excellent work and therefore created no urgency, no squeaking wheel, no political friction, no need. Marcus was the kind of employee who made departments look functional without ever making directors look dependent. That invisibility had a cost. It also had a structure, and Marcus, being an analyst, had mapped it. The acquisition conversation began on a Tuesday in October. A woman named Diana Price, whom Marcus had worked alongside briefly during an external consulting engagement 3 years prior, called him on his personal phone at 6:40 in the evening. "I'm with Alderton Capital now," she said. "We're looking at your company. I wanted to talk to you before we talk to anyone else." The conversation lasted 22 minutes. Marcus asked 4 questions. He answered 6. At the end of it, Diana said, "We'd like you involved on our side. Minor equity position, advisory capacity during integration." Marcus said he would think about it. He thought about it for 1 evening. Then he signed. The announcement went company-wide on a Wednesday morning. An email from the CEO, carefully worded, full of phrases like "exciting new chapter" and "shared vision for growth." Calloway forwarded it to his team with a single line: "More to come. We'll update as I know more." He didn't know more. That was the architecture of the situation, by design, not malice. The integration team at Alderton worked from the outside in, stakeholders first, leadership briefing second. The rest in sequence. Marcus's name appeared in the stakeholder documentation. Not prominently, he wasn't a headliner, but he was there, a named participant in the acquiring entity, listed alongside 4 others in a secondary equity position. A footnote with legal weight. Calloway was among the last in the building to receive the internal briefing memo. By then, the announcement had already been absorbed, the speculation already cycling through the lunch tables and the Slack channels. Calloway walked into that memo knowing less than his own direct reports. For a man who had spent a decade managing the geometry of who knew what and when, that sequence was not incidental, it was information. The first combined leadership session was held in the 4th floor conference room, the large one with the long glass table and the view of the parking structure. Diana Price ran it. She moved through the agenda efficiently, the way people do when they've already done the real work, and the meeting is administrative confirmation. Halfway through, she paused on the integration slide. "I want to make sure we're aligned on operational continuity before we get into structure," she said. "Marcus, you've seen both sides of this. What's your read on where the redundancies are going to create friction?" The room shifted. Not dramatically. Rooms don't shift dramatically in real life. But something recalibrated, weight redistributed, attention redirected, and in that rebalancing, the geography of the table changed. Marcus gave his read. He was specific. He was brief. He cited 3 operational clusters by name. Calloway didn't speak for the next 17 minutes. Marcus counted in the way that people count things when they're trying to keep their face neutral. 2 days before his temporary office was reassigned, Marcus packed his personal items. It didn't take long. He traveled light by habit. Before he left, he placed the notebook on Calloway's old desk. The desk had already been cleared. Calloway was moving to a smaller office down the hall, managing a team that had been reduced significantly in the restructure. The notebook sat in the center of the empty surface. Marcus didn't arrange it, didn't leave a note, didn't wait. He didn't need Calloway to open it. Didn't need to know what expression crossed his face when he read the dates, the reasons, the numbers. Didn't need the satisfaction of aftermath. He just needed it to exist, in that room, without him in it. The new role came with a title that finally matched the work. Marcus sat at his new desk on the first Monday and opened a fresh notebook. He stared at the first blank page for a moment, then he closed it. He didn't need to write anything down anymore, not yet, not for a while. He looked out the window, a different view, a different floor, the same city, and felt something he didn't immediately have a word for. Not victory, not relief, something quieter than both. Something that had been waiting a long time to have room enough to exist.